Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with another 2v2, this time myself and Black Iron Battle is going to be taking Team Undead, Tomb Kings supported by Vampire Counts against the anti-undead alliance here of High Elves and Norska. Not the most thematic of alliances, but it certainly is a thematic army. Let's go ahead, at least each of their armies individually are thematic in their own right, I should say. Let's go ahead and get to said armies. We'll start first with Team Undead here, going to be led by Grand Hierophant Khatep on foot here, nonetheless. So he's going to be shambling around just like Kemmler, who's leading my vampires. He's over there in the forest. Khatep, no mount here, just has this incantation of vengeance to help debuff enemy large units like Cav, you know, things like that. That 24% speed debuff and the damage to combatants, pretty decent, kind of like an upgraded Melkos Mystifying Miasma. He's got two Tomb Princes also on foot to protect him. He's got a 3 units, in fact, of Shabti Great Bows, rear guard of some Tomb Guard, Kepper Guard in the center. We've got some Skeleton Warriors for the Tomb Kings scattered all around, so a couple Tomb Scorpions as well. For the Vampire Counts, more Skeleton Warriors and Skeleton Spears, Konigstein Stalkers here anchoring the center. We've got Kemmler, of course, going to be summoning up Krell. He's got Chaos Tomb Blade, which does affect Tomb King's units as well, as does Invocation of Nehek, Master of the Dead, and the other effects that the Vampire Counts have. They do affect the Tomb King's undead units, the Skeletal Infantry and Cav and so forth. Of course, we've got Krell Summon, Corpse Cart, and 3 units of Grave Guard with the Sternsman in the center. Some Knights around. We've got 2 units of Blood Knights out to the extreme flanks. We've got Varix Reavers in the center, and we've got some Dire Pack over here. In terms of the Norska Elfin Alliance, couple of Dragon Princes, one here, and the Fireborn, in fact, are the second one, and then a line of Sisters of Averlorn with the Everqueen's Court Guards. So a very small elite army for the High Elves here. We've got a Princess, going to be buffing up those Sisters of Averlorn as well, so nice thematic army there. And then the Norskins have brought a Troll army led by the Troll King himself, Throg over here. He's got a mix of Norskin, Ice Trolls, and regular Norskin Trolls up front, supported by some Marauders. We've got plenty of Skin Wolves as well, Maws of Savagery, and another unit of Armored Skin Wolves there. And it looks like one more unit of Armored Skin Wolves. No Lore of Fire, though, instead opting for a Metal Sorcerer. Lore of Fire probably would have been better, but just going for the nice, cheap Final Transmutation route, which can definitely be pretty effective as well. So, yeah, right off the bat, you can see we're mixing it up. This Tomb Scorpion's getting into these Dragon Princes, and the Fireborn will definitely take this Tomb Scorpion to task. But this is going to allow me to get a more favorable engagement here. You can see the Dire Pack are coming down to help deal some damage. We've got some Blood Knights we're going to bring down in just a moment. Meanwhile, mainline engagement's already kicking underway here. You can see the Skeletons getting in, mixing it up with these Marauders, and then here come the Norskin Ice Trolls going to follow up. Ooh, man, just some brutal damage done to those Skeletons. And the Konigstein Stalkers here in the center taking a lot of shock damage. Speaking of taking damage, Kemmler here just eating all of the bowfire here. Obviously, his item that I didn't bring here, the one that gives physical resistance, wouldn't really help here because all of this missile fire is magic. But with Invocation of Nehek and his other healing, he should be able to at least stay alive, although he has eaten up a fair amount of his healing cap. You can see over here on the low ground the Spearmen, Skeleton Spearmen, and Blood Knights supporting, going to be getting the better of these Dragon Princes, although we did lose that Tomb Scorpion there, unfortunately. The Princess over there supporting as well. Meanwhile, up on the high ground, my Blood Knights are going to get caught on the back hoof by these Maws of Savagery and other Skin Wolves here, but we do have some Skeletons coming in to support Skeleton Spears nonetheless, and this Tomb Scorpion's also on station as well, so all kinds of madness going in the front line. We'll soak up some cinematics as these Trolls kind of puke all over and use their Ice Breath and just pummel these Skeletons to pieces. The issue is there's just so many skeletons here, and we're getting a nice breakthrough in the center. You can see Krell has been summoned, got some good terror action going, and Throg himself is just taking an absolute beating here from the Ushabti Great Bows. Krell himself got a few swings in there, although he's getting knocked around a little bit. And yeah, at this point, Throg's actually going to go down from the Ushabti Greatbow fire, so everything combining, we've taken out the Norscan leadership, and Krell going to be starting some terror routes. You can see this Norscan shaman suddenly surrounded by Graveguard and Tomb Princes and all that, probably going to be fleeing for the hills. But yeah, Throg does go down there. A lot of the Norscan forces are starting to rout. Trolls have pretty shaky leadership, and you can see just a general rout on the front line from the Norskins as soon as Throg goes down. That's going to leave these very expensive skirmishers to deal with this massive horde of shambling undead. Meanwhile, on the low ground, we're still holding out. The Blood Knights not necessarily doing great now that the Dragon got involved, although we were able to do some good damage to the Princess. And now it's just these Skeleton Spearmen holding out here on the low ground. But very nice Fiery Convocation coming down from that High Mage there. Looks like she's got Fiery Convocation, Tempest, and Apotheosis. We didn't actually bring any flying units, thankfully. I had considered bringing a Terrorgeist here, but yeah, with all the fire damage they could bring, yeah, I thought Blood Knights would probably be a better pick. The Everqueen's Court Guards here have incredible melee defense, so they will hold out for a very long time, even against the more elite, quote-unquote, units like Graveguard, just because of their really strong melee defense. These actually aren't the Everqueen's Court Guards, they're over here. But even the regular Sisters of Avalorn, with that martial prowess, have 50 melee defense. They're going to take some time to cut through, but unfortunately, the Norscan forces starting to rally a little bit here, but just not able to hold quite enough at this point. Balance power starting to tip in the favor of the Undead Alliance here. You can see Krell getting a hold of this High Mage is going to be bad news for that High Mage. Krell does a ton of damage. That volley of high arrows coming from the Princess there up on the dragon, doing some okay damage, helping to speed Krell's passing, but he's been able to definitely get some good work in. That High Mage is terror routing away. Meanwhile, the Trolls coming in for another timing push. But we're going to drop an Overcast Dance Macabre here just to give everyone more melee attack. So like these Tomb Guard with Halberds, for example, up to 50 melee attack. The Skeleton Spears have plenty more as well. Kemmler's going to come in, give that Chaos Tomb Blade, although he's very, very low. He's in fact at his healing cap right now. He is going to get gooned by that Star Dragon, but, you know, you live and die hard, Kemmler. Live and die hard. But anyway, Krell is still on the field. He's getting pretty low. We do still have the Corpse Cart online critically as well, providing that Vigor Mortis. And Khatep himself is still alive as well. Does Khatep actually have My Will Be Done? I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't look like he actually brought it, if he does, but the My Will Be Done combining with the Corpse Cart can actually give most of your units plus 10 melee attack and defense with the Vigor Mortis, but of course we've mainly got this thing for the Unholy Lodestone. But at this point, balance power pretty even. A very nice Overcast Final Transmutation, going to be once again helping speed Krell's passing here. He's getting pretty low at this point and does get taken down by one of those Skin Wolves there, so Krell, unfortunately, is down at this point. Balance power still pretty even, if slightly in our favor, but just the fact that these Sisters of Avalorn have been continuously inundated once that front line collapsed, there's just Graveguard and hordes of skeletons just continuously fighting, and regardless of how long they hold out, they are eventually going to get worn through, and the Ushabti Greatbows are still online as well. A lot of the Ice Wolves and other units had been trying to push back. You can see the tattered remnants of the Fireborn routing away there from one of the Ushabti Greatbows who'd used all its ammo, but critically the Ushabti Greatbows are able to stay online for the most part and continue firing here. Another very nice Fiery Convocation coming down, going to be doing some great units, some great damage to the units in this pocket. The dragon does come down and goon Khatep. Khatep just goes down super hard, although he's not weak to fire. He's just paper thin, and will definitely get taken down. But we've moved the Corpse Car into range to try and buff up the Tomb Princes as they kind of fight it out. Of course, the Tomb Princes do have anti-large armor piercing and can help stabilize the leadership of the, the undead force here. And the final tier of Realm of Souls finally going off there, and those Ushabti are going to be summoned up in the backline here to proc a general rout. And at this point, it's just a few Sisters of Avalorn. Most of the Norscan forces have been shattered, the balanced power losses are quickly mounting. So yeah, you can see these Sisters of Avalorn over here fighting against even elite Sternsmen. It takes quite a while to cut through the Highland melee defense. So these are actually the Everqueen's Court Guards. So Everqueen's Court Guards versus Sternsmen, the ultimate wet noodle contest, just because both of them have good melee defense. And I guess the Court Guards don't have the high armor of the Sternsmen. Sternsmen also have a bonus versus infantry. But anyway, it's a bit of a wet noodle contest. Will take some time to resolve, but army losses will probably kick in before then. This Tomb Prince definitely taking some fire here, and that flaming armor-piercing damage from the Sisters of Avalorn going to be very good at taking down this Tomb Prince, but he does have a silver shield here, a good missile block chance, so he'll be blocking some of that fire at the very least, allowing these other units to push through and finish things up here. And yeah, it is going to be victory for the Undead Alliance. Very well played to Gojira and Professor Pone, who are our opponents. Professor Pone actually just recently got his new computer, so he's actually going to be getting his channel up and running soon, so get hyped about that. For those of you who haven't checked his channel out, be sure to do so. But yeah, super fun battle, very atrocious battle, and very close in the end, but just the leadership damage was too much. They couldn't handle the spooky, scary skeletons at the end of the day. So obviously Kemmler got gooned pretty hard there by the missiles, but managed to push through and survive long enough to get Krell on the field and provide some nice support with the Dance Macabre and the Overcast, Invocation of the Hex, and so on. The skeletons, you know, they did their job pushing through and dying by the thousands, but Graveguard really mopping up. Blood Knights were able to do some good work, despite the kill totals not really suggesting so. They both were able to get an XP Chevron, so that's paid off in my book. Varix Reavers helping to break that center pocket there was very key as well. Corpse Card, of course, super MVP despite it not getting any kills. Just the support buffs on the Tomb Kings with the healing from the vampires is so strong. Khatep, nice and cheap on foot, ultimately allowed Black Iron to just go very wide with his army, with lots of Tomb Guard, Kepper Guard, Skeleton Warriors, these two Tomb Scorpions, and the Shabti Greatbows, definitely the MVPs for the Tomb Kings, racking up quite a few XP Chevrons, taking out lots of high-value targets, working down Throg, the Dragon, and more. Speaking of which, Throg definitely had a rough time this game. Just got shot up, beat up by Krell, and then shot some more. So 90 kills on the Shaman Sorcerer, though, from those two final transmutations. Pretty decent. Still might have been better to have lower fire at the end of the day, especially to synergize with the Princess, who herself does fire damage. The Fireborn also do fire damage, and these Everqueen's Court Guards all do fire damage. So if you're synergizing that with the Kindle Flame, I think that it could actually work quite well for the High Elves. They do have access to Kindle Flame with Techless, but that requires you to, of course, bring Techless, which means you can't bring a dragon on, a Lord on a dragon, and anyway, it could be some good synergy there. It might be worth exploring, but a very fun thematic build from Gojira. Those Norscan Ice Trolls actually did quite well in the front line, one of them picking up an XP Chevron. Skin Wolves did decently as well, although they were mostly tangled up with Blood Knights, who did get an XP Chevron, but like I said, it's a bit of an even trade there. The Tomb Scorpions did okay, although, you know, they're more just a tar pit type deal, and it provides some extra terror. They don't necessarily do that much damage, but especially against large targets like these Norscan Ice Trolls and so on, our opponents really didn't go with much infantry at all. They only had these 4 Marauders, and I think that was kind of the issue at the end of the day. Once Throg went down, that Norscan front line, since it was mostly trolls and they don't have the best leadership, just buckled super hard, and that allowed us to push through and get on the high-value missiles of Professor Pone. But very fun battle overall. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Super stoked for the patch tomorrow. Wanted to get out a couple of my more fun 2v2s that I've played over the last week or so for you guys, for your viewing pleasure in the meantime. So looking forward to the patch. And yeah, if you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.